Okay, so let me pick up where we left off.
So they all moved to Flagstaff. So what do they do beforehand? Are they a little more prepared this time? Well, they went and looked for land. And that's when Cody was taking the wives one at a time. He was taking them to these properties. Like, we're going to buy, look at this land, and we're going to build our homes here. Because we'll never be able to buy something. There's a light. We'll never be able to buy something like this cul-de-sac situation where everything's available for sale. So we're going to have to build again. So we're going to get more land. Okay, so now we know 2 more years before they're ever going to be in these homes. Right before they move, he drops a bomb on them and shows this diagram, blueprint of one big, huge house with 4 separate units on it. Christine said she would never move back into one house with the sister wives ever again, and he knows this. And yet he spent thousands because he throws money around like Robin does.
You think money grows on trees?
Basically, the TLC money is for them. My understanding when it comes to money is the TLC money all goes into the family fund.
Oh.
Each wife can have their own individual jobs where they have their own income that they can use for additional stuff. But the family fund is paid. It used to be that they would pay for mortgages, but it didn't pay for mortgages because Christine was very clear when she moved to Flagstaff that she made every payment on her house.
Oh.
So she had every right to it, being her house. Okay, I don't know the details of it. But anyway, they buy land. They're going to build again. So now they have to find rentals again. They do, but the rentals are all miles apart.
Oh.
Meri's 30 minutes away.
Hello?
In an apartment in downtown Flagstaff, where she wanted to live. She wanted to live nearby there because she's like, well, at least there's a little bit of a city here. Christine can't find a place because she has 6 children. Well, actually, 1 is gone. I think she has 5 children at the time that they move. Yeah, I think they're all the rest of them were still at home. So she needed to find a decent sized home. She ended up finding something to just buy. And she's just like, listen, it's available. It's going to be a few years anyway before everything gets up and running. So we'll sell it after a few years, or it'll be income for the family and we can rent it or whatever. At this point, why drop me? And she's the only smart one.
Right.
Why are we dropping money into rentals when we can buy? Robin is in a rental that's massive. Not quite sure why, other than Cody spends all his time with her, so he wanted a really nice house. That family, over the next year or 2, decided they were selling the house. So they had the option to buy it or to move out. And so Cody's like, we should buy it.
Oh.
Robin on the show says, no. I don't wanna buy it because that's gonna keep us from moving on the property. We're all supposed to move on to the property. They can't move on to the property. A couple years in, they still haven't broken ground because they can't pay off the property. Can't pay off the property because they just bought an $800,000 home. Just shy of $1 million home for Robin and her kids to live in.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
How dumb can you be?
So this is a step back because, of course, they had to come up with the money, the down payment, etc.
Yeah.
And now that mortgage is so much higher than what the rent was, plus all the upkeep and everything that comes with being a homeowner.
Right.
So Coyote Pass is still there. Janelle's renting. Meri eventually finds a home closer by. Huge 5-bedroom, massive home for Meri. Because Leon is in Chicago. Okay.
This, to me, might be considered kind of a step backwards, wouldn't you say?
The decisions make no sense. Christine probably had the smallest house. Well, no, Janelle's was pretty small too.
Well,
even though it was a rental, it was pretty small too.
They both have a lot of kids.
Yeah. They each had 6 kids. Now, some of them are gone. So
they each had 6 kids?
Janelle and Christine, yeah. Janelle and Christine, who had the smallest homes, each had 6 kids. Robin has 5 now, so she's close. And then Meri, in her home that's bigger than either Christine's or Janelle's, has nobody at home anymore, but has 1 child. None of it makes sense.
None of it.
The justification is always, why should I get punished for not being able to have more children? I'm sorry, I don't agree at all with that philosophy. Y'all write down below, because I know there are people who are going to disagree with this. It's not a punishment to her. Why should she get 5 times more than she needs? Really, she's like the Queen of Sheba. Like, it makes no sense. She should have a really nice, beautiful, comfortable home. 3-bedroom home.
Yeah.
That's all she needed. I'm sure there were beautiful 3-bedroom homes that was, how much was it? $5,000 a month, I think, for the rental for all these years. Money out the window.
This whole thing is a complete mess
Yeah.
at this point.
Yes. And then COVID hits.
This can't be good.
All right, we're going to do a whole separate video on COVID.
Okay.
In a sentence, Cody's an ass. He won't let any of the family get together during COVID, although he's an anti-vaxxer. Now, let me just backtrack. Robin is a hypochondriac.
Okay.
When her baby was young, everybody had to change their clothes before holding the child. You know how you're supposed to wash your hands?
Right.
You know, not everybody does. By the 3rd child, you know, you have a better immune system than your sisters do. You know, you're just sort of like, here you go. He'll be fine. This was her 5th. And she was just like, people have to change their clothes, wash their hands, you know, I don't know, go through a decontamination unit, and then they could hold the baby. She was so paranoid of illnesses. During this period of time, Cody's just staying at Robin's house, of course.
Right.
His house, he calls it now.
Oh.
He is, however, going to visit Janelle and Christine.
Not Meri.
Not Meri. Hasn't visited Meri since they were in the hotel together when they went to look at the property to move there. Still, this new beginning of their relationship hasn't begun, and they're a couple years into it. He's still not spending the night over there.
Right.
Or any time with her. They get together once a year for their anniversary and they go out to dinner. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah. Or if the whole family were to get together, they'd see each other.
Right.
That's the extent of it. But the whole family's not getting together for 2 years now because of COVID. Janelle and Christine are beside themselves. They're like, we are not keeping our family away from each other because of COVID. Now, they were following all the CDC protocols.
Okay.
Cody had a list, I don't remember how many bullet points were on it, 20-some?
I thought the
Rules?
COVID thing was going to be a different video.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One
All right.
sentence.
One sentence. And to sum it up, his kids were extremely hurt by this because he's staying at the home with the adopted kids, but his biological children, and well, he does have 2 of them over there too. Youngins, so many people refer to him as the youngins.
Right.
Now, mind you, the boy over there is only a year younger than Truly, Christine's youngest.
Right.
But yet he keeps saying, I have to be there because of the young kids. Never mentions Truly. Truly doesn't exist anymore in his world. Unless Christine doesn't want to take the time to bring Truly over, then all of a sudden, I can't believe I can't see my daughter, who we'd never go visit. Anyway, So Cody, completely missing the understanding of how COVID got transmitted, believed that if everybody didn't see each other, but he could go from home to home to home to home, nobody's going to get sick. It's a miracle. Christine and her family, Christine's traveling all around the country. She's going to see Janelle's daughter and her granddaughter. And there, she's going back to visit her brother in Utah. She's going to North Carolina. She's like, I've got kids all over. She got kids back in Vegas. Christine is like, I am not stopping for anyone. So then Cody said, not visiting anymore. So then the kids really got upset because they can't go visit him because they're not following these 19 rules.
Right.
And so it escalates, the anger. Cody is getting angrier and angrier. The kids are getting angrier and angrier. Nobody's getting together. So now, of course, Christmas 2020.
Right.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, nobody's getting together.
Okay.
You know, because of COVID.
Yeah.
Now we're into 2021. Nobody's getting together because they're like, we can't follow these rules.
Right.
We go to school. We have jobs. The
Yeah.
boys are like, we have girlfriends.
Right.
We're older teens now. We can't see our girlfriends. Yeah, you wouldn't have followed that, Dad. The family deteriorates even more. Cody finally tells Christine, you know what, we're not going to have a relationship anymore, but, you know, we can stay married and I'll continue to stop by and we'll still have our routine where I come by, but we're not married anymore.
Okay.
And Christine's like, yeah, that's not going to work for me.
Ooh.
Yeah, that that kind of doesn't work for me.
She's like, I want somebody who loves me and who's intimate with me and who wants to be with me. So, adios, we're getting divorced.
Oh. So was Christine the first?
She was a third wife. She was the one, she's the one that is AUB royalty.
Oh.
The one whose grandfather started the AUB faith.
Okay.
And so out of all of them, she's the most AUB out of Cody or any of the wives.
Right.
And she just said, done. I'm leaving it. I don't care about this celestial marriage with you. I don't want to be with you.
Wow.
Forever in heaven.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for. This is exactly, I don't mean to sound like Cat Williams, but this is exactly what I've been waiting for.
I'm out of here. Peace out. Cody freaks out. All of a sudden, he can't understand. He's all mad at her. He's complaining to everybody. Oh, what her problem is. How can she do that to me all the years that I loved her? And then in another scene, he'll say, it's fine, whatever. I never loved her anyway. No joke. No joke, his words. I mean, it's just comical. You're just like, you got out, Christine.
I might have dodged a bullet there.
And she just felt like the weight of the world was off her shoulders. Well, by now, all she has is Truly at home. Truly's 13 now. That's all she's got left.
Right.
Which, by the way, the youngins are 12 and 10. They're like not really babies. And yet, this whole time that they have been in Flagstaff, they have had a nanny in Robin's house.
Interesting.
A nanny?
She's got 3 older kids in their 20s that are all living there. Adults who could help out. She's got no job. Cody essentially has no job. He claims he has a job that just allows him to drive on the road and go to... He sold, like, gun paraphernalia at shows.
Huh.
It's for some company. Basically, they're not making... TLC's their job.
Right.
But yet, she needs to have a nanny. Oh, and by the way, Cody wakes up every morning now who never picked up a finger for the original 13 kids.
Right.
He wakes up every morning and he makes the breakfast for the youngins, and then he drives them to school. Well, Robin's still sleeping.
Wow.
She likes to shop on QVC all night long. Anyway. So Christine up and leaves. She says, my parcel of Coyote Pass, which is that land that they bought, she's like, I want nothing to do with it. Nothing.
I don't want
She's
it back.
like, I'll take the pros. I'll sell the house, and the proceeds of whatever's from the house I'll take, and we're done. And we separate, and that's the end of it. He got off good, because there's that family fund, too, that is supposed to be like supplying everybody with the money that they need, and yet it seems like it just keeps supplying Robin and Cody with things. So she's gone. I think Cody was so upset because there goes 1/5 of their family income pot.
True.
It's now Christine's going to get it all to herself.
Yeah.
And he said nobody's ever going to marry her because she left a good man. So this comes back to the whole notion of, you have to make sure it's a good man. He's like, well, no one's ever going to marry her because...
I'm the best!
Obviously. So she's gone and really happy. Janelle's caught in the middle. Meri, she's doing her own thing.
Right.
In the meantime, I didn't mention, while they were still in Vegas, she bought an old family home in Parowan, Utah. Big old country home, wraparound porch kind of home that was like her great-great-grandmother's or something like that. She bought it and converted it to a bed and breakfast.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, and her mom moved in there, and so her mom was the caretaker of it and lived there and handled the people coming and going and made the breakfasts and took care of the home. That's so nice. Meri had her own investment too.
Yeah.
Plus, she's doing really well with her clothing business because she's got nothing going on in her life. She doesn't have a husband. Her one child doesn't live in the state. She's not getting together with the other kids because she's not getting along with anybody. And since COVID, Robin won't let even Meri come by.
Oh, yeah.
Even though Meri follows all the COVID rules that Cody gave, she still couldn't come. Tenders might get sick. So Janelle is just walking the line. She has become closer and closer and closer ever since they moved to Flagstaff with Christine. Cody doesn't like it at all now, especially with Christine leaving the family because she's still talking with Janelle.
Yeah.
It's going to influence her. Christine's like, Janelle has her own brain. She can do what she wants to do.
Right. I imagine it would have been really messy if Christine had tried to claim, like, the money that would have been hers. Because because they're not married, because they're not married. So I don't know what kind of
legally.
Just a verbal, I don't know what would have.
Yeah,
had
her name was on the Coyote Pass property, but it was hers and Cody's. Cody's name is on the entire property.
Interesting.
There's his section, there's the family section, which really is in his name, and then each wife has their own parcel, but his name is also
on it. So, okay.
And there's been hypothesis that that's why he moved, is that there possibly was a balloon payment coming due on all of the houses in Vegas. They were just paying the minimal, you know.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe they were doing like an interest loan. I don't know. But he had to get out from underneath them.
Allegedly.
Plus, all the wives had those in their names because you could only have your name on one house legally as the primary owner.
Oh,
you can't be a primary owner.
Yeah.
You can have rentals and you can have, you know, second homes, that kind of stuff. So, like, he couldn't do it with the other women.
Right.
His name was probably on Meri's house because he was married to Meri at the
Right.
time when they moved to Vegas, when they built those homes. So, yeah, so now his name is on the house with Robin.
Okay.
So the $800,000 house, which is like something like $1.3 million now in value, and all the property, like he and her, and he, give him credit, his wives just fell in line and did what he wanted, especially Janelle, because Janelle has a degree in accounting. Like, she handled the books.
Right.
What in the... Janelle? Janelle!
She didn't make any of the decisions, and Cody did all that, and he got the final say on everything, but she's the one that divvied it out, and so she knows where the money went. She could write a book and become a multimillionaire, that woman.
Right.
From your lips to God's ears.
Or just start a podcast or a Patreon or something and just have little bits that she... Oh, millions of followers and millions of views.
I'm sure.
Oh, she could... But nobody's singing right now.
Okay.
Nobody's saying a word. But they are still all under contract with TLC. So they're not going to really say anything major about each other because nobody wants to say something so outlandish that the show will get taken off the air.
Nice.
Christine was still on the show. So the next season she was in Utah. Janelle is now in a little college dorm apartment. 2-bedroom, one for her daughter Savannah, the one daughter that's left who's in high school, in her bedroom. And Robin's in the mansion down the road that had acres and acres of property with it too. But Janelle believed, why should we be spending all this money on a larger house rental when my boys have now all moved out and either bought their own homes or they're in college or renting? So I should be in something smaller. Yes. But so should I. No one else is doing that. Meri got herself a big old mansion, 5-bedroom home. Yes, Janelle, I 100% agree with you, but I also feel like you're due. Just enjoy it. Maybe she's like, I don't want to clean it. I don't know. But Janelle's the most down to earth of them all, and she just really believed our money is communal. And what one person needs, they get. And Robin needed that, so Robin got that, and I don't need that, so I'm not going to get that. And to her, it was all okay. Until Cody continued to refuse in 2021 December to allow her boys to come for Christmas until they apologized to Robin for being mean to her, because they apparently called her at one point and said, why do you keeping our dad away from us? Let him come visit us. This is not him. He's not the person that's scared of COVID. These rules are all in place. They're like, that's not you, Dad. You never believed in the government telling you what to do. And yet now you're not only doing what the government's telling you to do, but you also have another whole page of, and here are the additional rules that my doctor and myself and our nanny have come together to develop. And they're like, we just want to be together as a family. So he's very mad. The whole family's still getting together. He's just not there with Robin because nobody's supposed to be getting together. So he's losing control now that he's seeing, because that's 12 of the kids right there. Well, some of them are gone, but the majority of the kids are still getting together with 2 of the wives, and he's fuming mad. Fuming mad, like crazy mad. And also, I think he might be taking supplements that make you angry.
Allegedly.
Lots of supplemental pill bottles all over the counter, and he's like, well, you could tell he's lost weight. People say it's because Christine left. Robin can't cook.
I'm starving.
So then there was a big fight between he and Janelle. He's over into her little college apartment, and she's like, just so you know, I have an Airbnb because my kids are coming home for Christmas, and I know we can't all come over there, so we're going to be over there. They're just not going to apologize. They're not. They don't feel like they have anything to apologize for.
Right.
And this is where they're going to stand. So you as a dad, if you're going to hold to it, you're not going to see your kids. And she's like, it breaks my heart, but I'm just mad that you told me the other day in the car, we didn't have this on video, that I had to make a choice.
Oh.
Between Cody or her kids. No joke. He said that. Thank you, Janelle, for sharing that little tidbit of information with us. It fits in line with Cody, doesn't it? She's like, guess what? Hard decision. Kids. So they're all coming home. She's having an Airbnb. Christine's in Utah for Christmas, so those kids are going to be visiting with her there. After the weekend after Christmas, she was coming down, and the kids were going to come with her, and they were all going to go to Janelle's Airbnb right. Because they allow the kids to get together, and all these kids were coming home for Christmas, so let's get everybody together.
Right.
Well, Cody lost his mind. Lost his mind when he found out the whole family was getting together for Christmas, but they won't come over to Robin's house. He's made his bed, and now he has to lie in it.
Right.
He doesn't want to lie in it. Not getting his way, and he's throwing temper tantrum after temper tantrum and starts yelling at Janelle. Sweet Janelle.
You lie. That's the reason I call you the Teflon Queen.
Wild to me that you think I lie because I think you're manipulating.
Well, tell me how I'm manipulating. Oh, no. Tell the whole world. Tell the world. And then go hang out with your buddy Christine. Tell the world how I've lied, how I've manipulated, how I've done you wrong.
It's about all these other problems that we have that we can't sleep under.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Wow.
Stop talking like I'm just an idiot here.
Don't you dare point your finger at me.
I'm leaving. And then she's like, come back. We're not done.
You stay and talk.
No.
What did she say to him? You're not doing something. I can't remember what it was. And he goes, and I'm not gonna. Just like that. It was just like, okay.
I'm not going to, because you're not listening.
You're not listening to me.
And I'm not going to.
Okay, so we're done?
Goodbye.
You.
He goes to slam the door and she goes, I'll bleep that out.
Shut it off.
And we're like, Janelle, clutch my pearls. She was mad, and that was the end of it. And then she called him up after that, and she said he should come pick up all his stuff, that they were going to have a separation from each other. He didn't come to pick up her stuff. She boxed it all up and took it to a storage unit. His stuff was out of there. So they're separated. He tries to get back together with her. Weeks later, they sit down at a restaurant and they're talking. As she's sitting there first, he comes in, he stands over the table and he goes, what? No hug? Just, ew. She gets up and she hugs him. I can't believe she did. I wish she would have just been like, no, not right now. Not after that.
That's crazy.
That turned me off. And during this meal, he's like scarfing down the food, talking while he's eating. And well, she goes, I just think that we should stay separated at this point. And he goes, huh? Oh, really? So you want to stay separated? She's like, yeah. He's flabbergasted. He had no idea. He was convinced he was going to walk in there, woo her right back, and she'd come right back, and he just was like, what do you mean? So, well, he's not happy about all of that. She ends up never getting back together with him.
Wow. All right.
So, 2 wives gone. Now we get to the last episode of the last season. We have Meri. Meri, who just frustrating to watch because, one, we don't see everything, in fairness, but they show her saying things like, you haven't been around, and he's like, and I'm not coming back. I know that. That was like a year ago. We're going to have our anniversary dinner again. This is good. We're going to have time together. So you know that he was on the phone with her in between these things saying, well, maybe, I don't know. And Robin the whole time was like, hang on, Meri. You're all I got. You're my lifeline. I'm stuck with him 24/7 like I have been for COVID, and I can't do this the rest of my life. So she's like, just hang in there. Just hang in there. She's always had Meri on a leash.
Right.
Finally, Meri has a sit down before the last, it was like second to the last episode with Robin, and says, I can't do it anymore. There's no relationship. He doesn't want one. He's told me that. There's not going to be anything. I can't do this anymore. I can't live like this.
Right.
Meri finally wakes up enough to say, peace out. Okay. Part of this also is seeing the talking head interviews from the previous season, which are now getting aired right around the time the end of this season is happening and they're filming.
Yeah.
So she's seeing what's going down there, and she sees him say on camera, I'll never go back with Meri. So she's kind of like, okay, not what you've told me. She wants him to say it to her face. I didn't get it for the longest time, but my understanding of it now is that because of her faith and her religion, she can't leave. Although they always said the wives can't always leave. It's the husbands that aren't allowed to leave because they have these wives that they're responsible for.
Right.
That a wife can leave. And Cody's always said anyone can leave at any time. But for some reason, her interpretation of the faith is that she is doing something wrong in terms of eternal salvation and family life on the other side.
Yeah.
If she walks away, so she needs him to say it, and she needs him to say it on camera. So he finally said it to her the night before, but they're at this picnic table and like, so should we go look at the property? Robin was there, of course, and Meri, and they're like, we have things we need to work through. And she goes, we had these discussions last night. It was a really good discussion, and I feel like we need to just like finalize it here now. And he wouldn't say. Finally, he comes out and says, there's not going to be anything else between us. And she so graciously gives him a hug. I just can't. Why is everyone so nice to him? He's so horrible to everybody. He's the worst. That's my line. I was going to make t-shirts and say he's the worst. Because that's the line that just, every time I talk about him, I just go, he's the worst. We think alike.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, they're related.
Yeah. We end season 18 with now the breakup of the marriage, which is just,
Wait, so it's not even polygamy anymore.
No. So it's still called Sister Wives, but this season, which will be starting in the fall, will only have one wife, Robin. And Cody has been clear he is not getting any more sister wives. He's always been in love with Robin. Robin has been like the love of his life. He just didn't realize it until he married 3 other wives first. And now he found the one. And I think he felt a slight sense of obligation and a desire to keep the TLC money coming. So he's like, well, let me just keep these other wives around. I'm not going to sleep with them, or I'm not going to touch them or anything. But, they can keep bringing in TLC money too, because I'm taking out of their pot as well as mine. And then the show keeps going because there's plenty of drama involved here. So, so 3 wives have now left. Meri has moved away from Flagstaff and is living in the Airbnb. Okay. She converted the carriage house on the property to an apartment and like a store for her clothing stuff down below that people can come shop, but nobody lives in Parowan. No one's going to come shop. I don't know. But she has like a place upstairs so that she's not staying actually in the B&B, that other people can still come there. Now, her mom has since passed.
Oh,
so her best friend Jen moved to Parowan, is helping run the B&B. So that's what's going on with Meri. Janelle is still living in Flagstaff.
Okay.
She made a hint in an interview that until all loose ends get tied up, she can't leave yet. So I feel like something with the property is going to... She still owns 5.14 acres of it.
Right.
I wonder if she just has some lovely lawyer who's coming pro bono to, or maybe not even pro bono, he can take his cut if he gets her more money.
Yeah.
Or good lawyer, that's all it needs to be. Good lawyer come in and figure out a way that they can have the documentation of the television show to prove the intent. In terms of a legal document, she doesn't have a foot to stand on. She said that at one point. Janelle, who never is emotional, in one of the interviews, it was right after the fight, that he slammed the door, she told him to F off, and the cameras were there, and then she goes, shut it down. And then the cameras go down. And then later they're back up, and it's just an interview with her, and she's just talking about what just happened, and she's like, that's the worst that we've ever had a fight. I don't know if we're going to come back from this. It's really bad. And now, what do I have? I'm a woman in my 50s. I've got nothing. I've got nothing to show for it. I'm such a fool.
Right.
I'm stuck.
I'm stuck. Financially, I have nothing. Christine had the house, I have nothing. My name is on property with everybody else. Probably nobody will cooperate now and play ball. FF. I can't believe I'm 50 and I can't even do my own thing because I'm so tied up with them financially.
She never thought this would ever happen. She really believed in the whole we just give money to everybody thing. She's cashed in her 401k from when she used to work for the government. That helped pay for the homes in Vegas.
Wow.
She's got nothing left.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I know. Because she was in rentals. She's starting something called Strive with Janelle online, where she does coaching or mentoring or something like that. I don't know. I'm just waiting for her to sell a Strive with Janelle shirt, and I'm going to buy it and support her. And then Christine fell in love with a man named David, who is in the LDS church.
Oh.
His wife tragically committed suicide years ago.
Oh.
He has 6 kids or something like that too, and they're older too. Her kids are pretty much. He doesn't have any young ones like Truly, who's 14. But he never got remarried. He just, it's a very sad story. But now it's turned out really happy because Christine has found the love of her life and somebody who really, really loves her. And he found love when he didn't expect to find love again. And they got married. And so we saw the 2-part episode of her wedding, which was amazing and beautiful. The OG-13 kids were all there at the wedding. She didn't invite Robin's kids because they weren't talking to her at the time. I think she didn't want to put them in an awkward position, so they weren't talking.
Right.
She had reached out to them a couple times before then, sending texts, and she never got a response. So she's like, the weddings isn't the time to put the pressure on. Almost OG-13. She had one daughter that didn't show up, but we'll hopefully find out more of that story in this season. A little disappointing.
Yeah.
But everyone else showed up. And then the one last thing, and not to leave on a downer, but this is going to be leaving on a downer. One of Janelle's boys took his life this past year. Yeah.
That's horrible.
I know. He had been struggling with ideations and...
Right.
Yeah. And it's just really, the sad part about it is that he was at such odds with Cody. He was the main voice of dissension about these rules and how they couldn't get together. So that relationship never mended before that happened. And of course, some people are accusing all of it on that. It's, no. When you have a mental health issue, you have a mental health issue. But knowing that, Cody probably should have also really reached out to him during this time as opposed to being so mean. Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I still slip often and say the OG-13 are doing this and forget that really there's 12.
Oh, yeah, that's sad.
12 of them, yeah. And that'll all be in upcoming seasons because the cameras were rolling at that time. I mean, not literally, but they asked and the family agreed. Janelle agreed to allow it. So we'll see in the fall. They're going to do a special. I'm not sure how they're going to handle it. Yeah. Quite frankly, if they were smart, they would have had a spring season, right? Or maybe even just something related to Garrison, which was his name, a tribute kind of special season, and then the interviews in that, and then maybe not even put any of it in the season because there's plenty with all those people to have a season and not address it, especially if you did something separate. And because he's not in it normally anyway. The kids aren't in much anymore. They used to be a lot, but now they're basically gone. It's really the wives and Cody is what the show is.
The sister wives, yeah.
The sister wives, yeah. And they still call themselves sister wives, and that makes Cody mad too. I love it. I would love for Meri to make amends with Christine because they don't get along. I think Christine's being stubborn in this situation. I think Meri wants it because she's lonely. She apparently wasn't great in terms of parenting Christine's kids. And that's even in the book, which was written the second season of the show. Right. So it was to hold a grudge that long, I just don't understand.
Right.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Except that one of Christine's children very much holds a grudge. And I don't know if Christine is doing it to show that she has her daughter's back.
Right.
But I feel like at this point, her daughter just needs to grow up because she's an adult. She's got 3 kids of her own. She can like let bygones be bygones. And Meri has apologized to her apparently.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I heard from somewhere that the daughter of Christine felt like it wasn't specific enough.
Oh, it wasn't like sincere.
Yeah. It was like, I'm sorry for everything I may have done to hurt you in the past.
Right.
One of those kind of sort of apologies. But I mean, still, life's too short.
I suppose, yeah.
Gotta let it go. Someday when the show's all over and there's no more seasons, somebody will spill the beans.
Eventually,
yes. And there you go.
Interesting.
Sister Wives 101 tutorial complete.
Yes. Sister Wives for Dummies. Yeah.
You're not a dummy, though.
Not anymore. No,
there you go.
Now I'm knowledgeable. I get the picture.
Well, I wouldn't say everything. There's always more to learn.
Okay, so none of us are dummies anymore. We might have 1 or 2 other little videos where we just talk Coyote Pass or we just talk catfishing or something like
COVID,
that. That'll be, or COVID. That might not be a short one, but the other ones would be short. COVID could be short if I'm the problem. But thank you for tuning in and watching this. If there's any questions that you have, I may have gotten it wrong. You can correct me down below, or any additional questions or any additional topics you would like to see me explain to my son here. You just write it down below. Let us know. And we appreciate it if you also hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah, and be sure to hit that bell for notifications. I've watched YouTube too.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.